Jasper stood in the forgotten vault on sublevel 47 with his battered tablet in one hand and a multi-tool in the other, staring at a floating crystalline sphere that pulsed with soft amber light. The circular chamber stretched 30 feet across, carved from dark volcanic glass that reflected the glow of hundreds of data crystals orbiting lazily overhead. Each sphere contained treatises from different eras of galactic history, glowing in blues and greens and purples. The temperature held steady at 15 degrees Celsius, and his breath came out in small clouds. Ancient symbols were etched into the floor in concentric circles around the central pedestal, and Jasper stepped right over them without looking down. "This one," he said to himself, clicking his pen 3 times. "This is definitely blocking the Wi-Fi signal." He pulled a human-made connector cable from his tool pocket and looked at the ancient alien data crystal. Then he looked at his cable, then back at the crystal. "Should fit," he muttered. Jasper pressed the connector against the crystal's surface. Obviously, it did not fit. The crystal was smooth and seamless and had no ports because it operated on quantum resonance fields that humanity had not discovered yet. He pulled out his multi-tool and extended the smallest screwdriver. "Just need to open the panel," he said to the 4,000-year-old artifact. The crystal began to emit a low hum. Jasper tapped it with the screwdriver. The hum grew louder. 3 other crystals nearby began to glow brighter, shifting to warning yellows. "Jasper," came a voice from the corridor entrance. He turned to see Brinley walking in, with her tool belt hanging loose and her ID badge clipped upside down. Her green eyes swept the vault with the expression of someone who had seen too many maintenance disasters. Her dark brown hair was tied in a messy ponytail, and she had fresh grease stains on her jumpsuit collar. "Got your message about the connectivity issue," she said, walking straight across the symbolic floor patterns. "What are you breaking?" "Not breaking. Fixing. This crystal is interfering with station Wi-Fi." Brinley stopped next to him and looked at the amber sphere, now pulsing faster. She chewed her synthetic gum twice. "That is a data storage crystal." "Right. For treaties?" "Yeah. Those do not use electromagnetic radiation." "Okay, but the Wi-Fi drops every time I come down to this level, and this thing is glowing, so obviously it is doing something." Brinley leaned closer. Her shoulder bumped the pedestal. 3 more crystals overhead shifted to yellow. In the background, an insectoid archivist scuttled past the doorway, saw what was happening, and immediately turned around and left. "There is a panel here," Brinley said, pointing to the base of the pedestal. "Hand me the sonic driver." "We are not supposed to have sonic drivers," Jasper said while handing her the sonic driver. She knelt and began unscrewing a panel that had not been opened in centuries. Brinley applied the sonic driver anyway, and the panel began to vibrate. "This is probably fine," she said. The panel popped off. Behind it was a crystalline neural network, more complex than anything humanity had ever built. It glowed with soft blue light and symbols scrolled across its surface. "See, there is always a panel," Brinley said with satisfaction. She reached in and touched one of the crystal nodes. The node flashed bright white. Then every crystal in the vault simultaneously changed color to deep red. "Huh," Brinley said. An alarm began to sound. Not a human alarm, but a harmonic resonance that came from the walls themselves, making the air vibrate and teeth ache. The central amber crystal began to spin faster until it was a blur. Light erupted from it, shooting upward through 3 levels of station infrastructure above. Jasper dropped his tablet. "What did you touch?" "Just the glowy part," Brinley said, standing up and brushing dust off her knees. The floor beneath them began to glow. The concentric circles of ancient symbols lit up 1 ring at a time, moving outward. When the light reached the walls, the entire vault hummed with power. Data began streaming across every surface in alien languages. The beam pulsed once. A shock wave of energy rippled outward, passing through both humans but causing every piece of alien technology in a 100-meter radius to activate simultaneously. 2 levels up. Every holographic workstation turned on at once and began displaying the same message. Emergency protocol active. Species designation Earth. Status changed from dormant to active. Lockdown initiated. "Okay, that seems bad," Brinley said, in the same tone she used for reporting broken coffee makers. Heavy footsteps echoed in the corridor, multiple sets running. Rothion appeared in the doorway first. The fungoid archivist stood 5'4" with pale cream-colored skin that had the texture of mushroom caps. His two large black eyes like dark pearls fixed on the scene, and the cap-like growth on his head immediately expanded by 3 inches. A cloud of purple spores erupted from his shoulders. "No," Rothion said in a voice that resonated from his wide mouth. "No, no, no, no. We were just," Jasper began. The Earth crystal Rothion interrupted, walking forward quickly. "You activated the Earth classification crystal." "Is that bad?" Brinley asked. Rothion's skin texture roughened visibly. His fine downy fuzz stood completely on end. He released another purple cloud, so thick it obscured his torso. "That crystal has been sealed for 73 cycles. It was sealed because your species is classified emergency use only." "Emergency use," Jasper repeated. "Like a fire extinguisher, like a doomsday weapon," Rothion corrected. The alarm changed pitch, went from harmonic humming to sharp wailing. The red crystals began to pulse in sequence. The beam of light split into 7 smaller beams, shooting toward different sections of the station. Rothion pulled a datapad from his forearm mount. "The activation has triggered cascade protocols. Military command is being notified. After Council emergency procedures are initializing. The entire sector is about to go into quarantine." "Quarantine seems extreme," Brinley said. "We just opened one panel." "You did not open a panel," Rothion said. "You opened Earth. You told the galaxy that humanity is awake and active and available." "Available for what?" Jasper asked. Before Rothion could answer, the vault entrance filled with a much larger figure. Velkar ducked through the doorway and had to turn his barrel-chested frame sideways to fit through. The Velkarin security commander stood 6'4", with rust-colored skin that had the texture of fine velvet. His 2 deep-set teal eyes scanned the room and locked onto the humans. Thermal mist immediately began streaming from his external cheek vents in rapid, angry puffs. He wore a heavy sleeveless battle vest, covered in ceremonial rank insignia. His short, powerful limbs were pure muscle, and he moved into the vault with deliberate steps. "Explain," Velkar said in a voice like grinding stone. His cheek vents were puffing so fast they created a continuous stream of steam. "Explain why my security station is receiving emergency activation codes from a sealed treaty vault." Rothion gestured helplessly at the humans. More grey spores began mixing with the purple. Velka looked at Jasper, at Brinley, at the open panel, at the spinning crystal, his cheek vents sealed completely flat for 3 full seconds. "You touched the Earth crystal," he said. "Technically she touched it," Jasper said. "I was just trying to fix the Wi-Fi." Velkar's vents opened and released the thickest cloud of thermal mist yet, the Wi-Fi. "It keeps dropping on this level. So you came to the most restricted vault in the station and decided to perform maintenance on sealed treaty storage." "The door was not locked," Brinley offered. "It was genetically locked to prevent human access, specifically." "Well, it did not work." Velkar turned to Rothion. "Get my scene here now. We need the treaty keeper." Velkar walked to the pedestal and examined the open panel without touching anything. "This panel has not been opened since the Earth classification was sealed. The crystal network inside maintains the dormancy field." "What is a dormancy field?" Jasper asked. "It tells the rest of the galaxy that your species is not active," Velkar said. "When this network is intact, humanity is listed as emergency use only dormant. When you touched it, you broke 17 safeties and told every monitoring station that Earth is awake and operational." "But Earth is awake," Brinley said. "We have a station and ships, and we joined the Council." You joined as an observer species, Rothian said. Observer species do not have full status. You were never supposed to be activated to full classification. Why not? Because, Velka said, and his vents released a long, slow stream of steam, humanity is contagiously chaotic. Jasper blinked. Contagiously? Yes. Like a disease? Yes. Brinley stopped chewing her gum. That seems rude. It is not an insult, Rothian said. Grey spores were now his primary emission. It is a technical classification. Humanity has a documented effect on causality in their immediate vicinity. Probability fields destabilize. Ordered systems develop spontaneous errors. The lights in the vault flickered, went out completely, came back on in the wrong color. Somewhere in the walls, machinery that had worked perfectly for centuries began making grinding noises. Velkar looked at Jasper. Jasper clicked his pen once. That was already happening. It was not, Velka said. More footsteps in the corridor. Lighter, with an odd rhythm. Mycene appeared in the doorway and had to duck to avoid her flowing tendrils catching on the frame. The Mycoria treaty keeper stood 5'9", with slender limbs and skin like smooth bark in deep forest green. Her two large amber eyes with vertical pupils caught the red light from the crystals. Small leaf-like growths along her jawline and temples were already curling inward. Her hair-like tendrils of deep green vegetation had gone completely rigid. As she took in the scene, the wood-grain patterns in her skin darkened visibly, and her photosynthetic glow dimmed until she looked almost black. "No," she said in a voice like wind through branches. "Tell me they did not." "They did," Velkar confirmed. Mycene walked to the pedestal. Her vine-like tail moved behind her for balance, and she knelt to examine the open panel. Her amber eyes scanned the exposed network. Her leaf growths curled tighter. Her skin went another shade darker. "This is catastrophically bad. We keep hearing that," Brinley said, "but nobody has explained what actually happens." Mycene stood and turned to face the humans. "What happens is that Earth's dormancy classification is removed, and your species becomes available for deployment." "Deployment where?" Jasper asked. "Anywhere the Council deems necessary," Mycene said. "Earth was classified as emergency use only after the incident." "What incident?" Mycene exchanged looks with Velkar and Rothion. Velkar's vents puffed twice. 73 cycles ago, Mycene began, the Galactic Council was facing 3 simultaneous wars: the Crystalline Collective versus the Hive Networks, the Aquatic Federation versus the Methane Breathers. The Silicate Kingdoms having a civil war, millions dying, sectors burning. She walked slowly around the pedestal. A Council expeditionary force discovered Earth during this period, found humanity in early industrial age, but one councillor suggested using humans as mediators. The idea was that a neutral pre-contact species could negotiate between the warring parties, so they took 12 humans, gave them translation implants, brought them to the 3 conflict zones. And Jasper said, and within 6 local months all 3 wars had ended. "That sounds good." "It was not good," Velka said. "The wars did not end through negotiation or treaty or military victory. They ended," Mycene said, and her skin was now almost pure black, because the humans were so chaotically unpredictable that all sides became too confused to continue fighting. The Crystalline Collective stopped because humans kept treating their sacred command protocols like suggestions. The Aquatic Federation stopped because humans kept accidentally solving impossible equations while trying to fix unrelated equipment. The Methane Breathers stopped because one human taught them comedy, and they decided war was less interesting than jokes. Rothian nodded slowly. The Silicate Kingdom stopped their civil war because a human engineer fixed their entire communication network. By accident, while looking for a bathroom, there was a long pause. "Again, that sounds good," Brinley said. "It caused a galactic crisis," Mycene said sharply. 3 wars ending simultaneously with no clear victor, no negotiated terms, no proper closure. Thousands of years of diplomatic precedent ignored. Entire military structures rendered obsolete because humans just did not follow any recognizable pattern. The Council spent 5 years studying those 12 humans, Rothion added, trying to determine if humanity was a weapon or an anomaly or a natural disaster. They concluded, Velka said, that humans were all 3. Jasper clicked his pen 6 times rapidly. So they locked us away. They gave Earth protected status, Mycene corrected. Classified your species as emergency use only. Placed a dormancy field to keep you isolated until you developed naturally. The plan was to never activate you, unless the galaxy faced an existential threat. And now, Rothion said, as grey resignation spores filled the air, you have activated yourselves. The alarm changed pitch again. The walls began to display scrolling text in hundreds of languages. Emergency protocol active. Sector quarantine initiated. Earth status changed to active threat. Active threat, Jasper read. That is worse than emergency use only. Yes, all 3 aliens said simultaneously. Velkar's security datapad began beeping. He scanned the readout. His cheek vents sealed flat again. Military Command has issued a containment order. Fleet assets are being rerouted to the Sol system. Council emergency session has been called. They are sending ships to Earth, Jasper said. They are sending ships to quarantine Earth, Velkar corrected. Until we can determine if humanity's activation was intentional or accidental. It was super accidental, Brinley said. We were just trying to fix the Wi-Fi. Mycene made a sound like wind through dead leaves. That is exactly the kind of explanation that will make the Council more concerned. The central crystal suddenly stopped spinning. The red light dimmed. For a moment everything was quiet. Then the crystal pulsed once. Brilliant white light filled the vault. A holographic display erupted from the pedestal, showing a 3-dimensional map of the galaxy, with Earth at the center and concentric rings spreading outward. What is that? Jasper asked. Rothion checked his datapad. His cap growth contracted so tightly it nearly disappeared. That is the automated deployment sequence. Deployment of what? Humanity, Rothion said quietly. The treaty protocols are automated. Once Earth status changed from dormant to active, the system began calculating optimal human deployment scenarios. The holographic map, zoomed in on different sectors, showed conflict zones and political disputes and trade disagreements. At each location, the map placed a small blue icon labeled Human Mediation. Velkar looked at the hundreds of blue icons. His vents released a long, slow, continuous stream. It wants to deploy humans to 247 ongoing disputes. That cannot happen, Mycene said. Her tendrils had gone completely rigid and her skin was pure black. The last time humans were deployed to 3 conflicts, they destabilized half the council. Then we turn it off, Brinley said, walking toward the pedestal. Do not touch anything, all 3 aliens said. Brinley stopped. You just said we need to turn it off? We need to properly shut down the protocols, Rothion said, which requires authorization from the Council and input from treaty specialists. Brinley reached past him and touched the largest glowing symbol on the holographic display. The display flickered. The blue icons all changed to red. The alarm pitched up 3 octaves into a sound that made everyone's bones ache. What did that do? Velkar demanded. Rothion checked his datapad. His entire body released a massive cloud of grey spores. She changed the deployment from optional to mandatory. Mandatory, Jasper repeated. The system now believes the Council has officially deployed humanity to all 247 conflicts, Rothion said. It is generating orders, assigning human mediators, calculating transport logistics. This is going to start 247 new chaos events simultaneously. Mycene grabbed Brinley's shoulders and pulled her away. Stop helping. I was trying to turn it off. You made it worse. The holographic display began cycling through diplomatic missions, showing human names being assigned to each conflict zone. None of the names were real. The system was generating them. Apparently it thought humans were named things like Human Unit 734 and designated Mediator Red. Velkar's datapad began receiving emergency transmissions from multiple council members simultaneously. Dozens of alien faces appeared, demanding to know why they were receiving deployment orders for human mediators. This is first contact all over again, Mycene said. We have to stop this before. The floor shook. Not from an earthquake, but from something massive powering up. The vibration came from deep below. Rothion checked his datapad. The station's transport protocols have activated. It is preparing to begin deploying the human mediators. What human mediators? Jasper asked. There are only 40 humans on this station. The system does not know that, Rothion said. It thinks Earth has millions of humans ready because that is what the old protocols assumed. So what happens when it realizes we do not have millions of humans? The floor shook again harder. The sound of massive doors opening echoed up through the ventilation. Velkar's teal eyes went very wide. It is going to go get them. Get them from where? From Earth. The holographic display changed to show a massive collection ship powering up in the lower docking bay. The display showed its destination clearly. Sol, System, Earth. Collection of human mediators for mandatory deployment. Okay, Brinley said slowly. That seems like maybe we should stop that. The ship launch sequence began counting down. 90 seconds. Rothion turned to Mycene. Can you access the treaty override codes? Not from here, Mycene said. I need to get to the treaty archive observation platform. It has direct access to the core systems. How long will that take? 5 minutes to get there. 10 minutes to input the codes if nothing goes wrong. Things are already going wrong, Jasper pointed out. Then 15 minutes. The countdown showed 80 seconds. Velkar grabbed his datapad and began barking orders in Velkorin to his security teams. I will delay the collection ship launch. Rothion, get to Council Emergency Command and explain what happened. Mycene, override the protocols. You two come with me and do not touch anything. We never touch anything, Brinley said. Everyone looked at her. We never mean to touch anything, she corrected. They ran. The treaty archive observation platform hung, suspended over a cylindrical chamber filled with millions of glowing data crystals arranged in orbital patterns. Mycene's hands moved rapidly across the holographic workstation, while her leaf growths remained curled tight below them. The crystals spun in their ancient dance. Brinley and Jasper stood 3 feet back as ordered, while Velkar paced near the railing. His cheek vents released steady streams of thermal mist, and his teal eyes kept flicking to the countdown display. 45 seconds until the collection ship launched for Earth. The override codes are not accepting, Mycene said. Her skin had darkened to nearly black. The system thinks this is an official council deployment. It requires authorization from the entire council to cancel. How long to get council authorization? Velkar asked. 3 hours minimum. We have 40 seconds. Jasper looked at his battered tablet, looked at the holographic workstation, clicked his pen twice. What if we just turned off the ship? The ship is automated, Velkar said. It will launch on schedule. But what if the schedule was wrong? Mycene turned to look at him. The schedule is controlled by the treaty protocols. We cannot change it without authorization. Right, but what if the station clock was wrong? Like if we changed the time, then the ship would think it already launched. That is the stupidest, Mycene began. Do it, Velkar interrupted. Jasper pulled out his tablet and began searching through station systems. Okay, so the station master clock is here, and it is synced to galactic standard, which is connected to the treaty protocols. And if I just... He pressed one button. Every clock on the station jumped forward 6 hours. The countdown display flickered, went to 0. then displayed launch complete in cheerful green text. The collection ship in the lower docking bay received confirmation that it had successfully completed its mission 6 hours ago. Its engines powered down, its automated systems logged a successful deployment and went into standby mode. Mycene stared at the display. Her leaf growth slowly uncurled, her skin lightened from black to dark green. That should not have worked. But it did, Brinley said. That should not have worked, Mycene repeated. Velka checked his datapad. His vents slowed to normal rhythm. The ship has aborted launch. The collection protocols have marked the mission as complete. Rothian's voice crackled over the comm system from Council Emergency Command. Please tell me you stopped the ship. We stopped it. How? The human changed time. There was a long pause. He changed time. He changed the clocks. Another pause. That is the stupidest solution I have ever heard. It worked. Rothian's mushroom cap growth contracted and expanded twice. I am documenting this for the archives and no one will believe me. Mycene returned to her workstation and began typing. The treaty protocols still think humans have been deployed though. We need to properly shut down the emergency activation before it triggers other automated systems. Can you do that? Yes, but it requires filing an incident report explaining what happened. So file it. The report has to explain how Earth's dormancy was broken, Mycene said. Which means admitting that 2 humans accessed a sealed vault and activated classified protocols while trying to fix Wi-Fi connectivity. Brinley chewed her gum. When you say it like that, it sounds bad. It is bad. But we fixed it, Jasper offered, by changing time, which worked. Mycene's skin darkened again. That is exactly the kind of chaotic problem-solving that got humanity classified as emergency use only in the first place. She typed for 3 more minutes. The holographic display showed forms and authorization requests and incident documentation filling out automatically. Finally, she pressed one final symbol and stepped back. Done, she said. Earth status has been returned to dormant. Emergency protocols have been cancelled. The collection mission has been logged as a false activation. So, we are good, Brinley said. No, Mycene said. The Council now has to review the entire incident. They will want explanations. There will be inquiries, possibly sanctions. Velkar's datapad beeped. He read the message, and his vents sealed flat. Council wants all 5 of us in emergency session. Immediately, they took a transport tube to the Galactic Council Emergency Command Center. The massive hexagonal room was filled with hundreds of alien species in tiered seating, reptilian counselors, avian delegates, aquatic beings in mobility tanks. The curved walls displayed Earth on the main holographic sphere, still blinking with alert indicators. The head counselor was a crystalline entity whose body refracted light into rainbow patterns. They spoke in harmonic tones. Explain the unauthorized activation of emergency protocols. Velkar stepped forward and gave a formal military report. Mycene provided technical documentation. Rothian presented archival evidence. The council listened in silence. Then the head counselor turned to Jasper and Brinley. And what do the humans have to say? Jasper clicked his pen once. We were trying to fix the Wi-Fi. The silence in the chamber was absolute. The Wi-Fi, the head counselor repeated. It kept dropping on sublevel 47. So you opened a sealed treaty vault. The door was not locked. It was genetically locked. Well, it did not work. The head counselor's crystalline body flickered through several colors. They consulted with other counselors in whispered harmonic tones. Finally, they turned back. Earth will remain classified as emergency use only dormant, they announced. However, new restrictions will be implemented. Humans are hereby banned from accessing treaty vaults. Sublevel 47 is restricted. And a new warning label will be added to Earth's classification. What label? Mycene asked. The holographic display changed to show Earth's updated file. At the bottom, in large text it read, Do not allow humans to help with technical issues. Do not allow humans to fix things. Do not tell humans something is broken. If humans ask to help, refer them to species-appropriate tasks and then monitor closely. Brinley, read the label. That seems excessive. It is necessary, the head counselor said. This session is concluded. Back in maintenance corridor, 7B Jasper sat on the floor, with his back against exposed pipes. The flickering panels cast uneven light, and the smell of ozone hung in the air. So, he said to Brinley, who was coiling cable nearby, did we fix the Wi-Fi? She pulled out her datapad and checked the connection. Full signal. 5 bars. Yeah, actually. Perfect connection now. So we did fix it. Technically, yes, by accidentally activating emergency protocols and nearly causing a galactic incident. But we fixed it. Jasper clicked his pen and smiled slightly. Worth it. Down the corridor, Velka walked past with Rothion. The Velka in Commander's vents puffed once when he saw the humans. Rothion released a small grey spore cloud. They kept walking. Mycene appeared a moment later, carrying botanical samples. Her leaf growths were fully uncurled now, and her skin had returned to healthy forest green. She paused when she saw them. The Wi-Fi is working, Brinley offered. Mycene's tendrils swayed. Please do not fix anything else. We will try. Try harder. She walked away, leaving a faint smell of earth and growing things. Jasper looked at his tablet, then at the ceiling, then at Brinley. Same time tomorrow. Absolutely. Somewhere in the station archives, Rothion was documenting the incident in excruciating detail, knowing that future historians would read it and assume he was exaggerating. In his security command station, Velkar updated Earth's file, with additional warnings his superiors would probably ignore. In the treaty archive, Mycene added new genetic locks to sublevel 47 that would definitely not stop humans. And in maintenance corridor 7B, 2 humans sat in the flickering light, completely unaware that they had just reinforced every reason why Earth was classified emergency use only and would remain that way for the foreseeable future.